Today is April 16th. It is currently like 8:25 here. And I'm checking in because I'm officially starting contractions today. April 4th was his due date, so he's past due, and officially today, I know I'm officially starting labor. Also, a little update, I have little shorts on, so it's okay. My belly is like sticking out like crazy. Yes, it is. It's crazy. I'm really recording this too because for myself, I can look back on it and just be like, dang, I really went through that. So that's an update of how I look. I don't think I could get any bigger. It's popped out like crazy towards the end. My contractions are not super crazy for women out there. You know what period cramps feel like? It feels like a period cramp. Basically, that's how it started. That's what woke me up in the morning. I woke up at like 6 in the morning. I woke up when my husband got up. He gets up super early for work. And I just couldn't stay asleep because I had that crampy feeling like a period cramp. And it was just like, I'm up. And then now it's coming in waves where it feels like a period cramp that's like a little intense. And it only lasts for a minute and it goes away. Nothing yet. I'm just getting myself together. Nothing yet. Thank you, babe. I am just recording, trying my best to get any footage in of the whole process. Okay, where was I? So basically in my last video, if you didn't see it, I talked about how my birthing center wants to start labor stimulation because after a certain point, it's basically like trying to induce labor without the medical intervention, and it's the all natural way that they can do there. And so they wanted to work with my breast pump to produce oxytocin for the baby, which can stimulate contractions, I think. And then they said they were going to start working with certain herbs too, and like do different herbs and work with that. So it's more of a holistic thing, and they wanted to start that today. So the plan was when I wake up and when they open, call them, you know, catch up with them about the appointment yesterday from the OB office and schedule some time to come in today to start that stimulation training. Well, I am gonna call them when they open and tell them the updates since I've been cramping last night and what's going on now, and see if are we still doing the stimulation or do we need to just now monitor because I'm in early labor, I guess, and we'll figure it out from there. But I'm gonna call them when they open, tell them and update them on everything. I'm gonna take it easy here in the house and just enjoy this process. All right, so let me update everyone. Contractions are definitely here. Supposedly from my midwife, they're not like as intense as they're gonna get, but it's good. There's one happening right now. Yeah, I have to stop. Doing my best to breathe through it and not let my body tense up. And I'm recording because I'm trying to get anything I can before I can't get footage. So sorry if it's all over the place, but They don't last that long, but they do hit me. And I'm just doing my best to remind myself that my body knows what it's doing. To breathe and to stay in that calm, peaceful state and to not tense up and get afraid of the pain because it's gonna make it worse. Dominique's rushing upstairs. It's go time, babe.
Boy. Understatement.
We're taking things out of the to-go bag over there and making sure we have everything we need. Okay, so this on the bed is my outfit that I personally just want to go in and be comfortable in. And my intention is to have like a little bra on so that if I can get footage, I can at least show it. So I have that stuff laid out. Dominique is getting his clothes together, making sure everything's in order as far as our to-go bag, like everything. And then soon we need to eat something. I have not eaten anything since I woke up. I haven't felt hungry, but I know I'm gonna need the strength, so it's better to eat now. We are preparing, right, babe?
We out here.
Are you excited? How are you feeling right now?
I'm actually excited as hell. I'm just ready to get my stuff together first, you know. Honestly, I'm kind of a little frantic about getting that more than I am about this.
Getting your stuff together?
Yeah.
It's so funny how like you think you really do. Hold on, another one's coming.
Ooh. That's how much she love y'all, man. She going through a contraction right now, girl.
I also love recording so that I can have things to look back on, and I know if I have the opportunity to record and have this moment for us and post it for the experience, I'm gonna record as much as I can. And then Dominique is gonna try. We're gonna both be present in the moment, but if we can get footage and set the phone up and whatever we can get, we'll get it.
Try to do what we gotta do, you know?
But what I was saying was, you think you have everything in order and you really feel like you do, but when it's go time, you really like double check for the last time. So that's what we're doing. And a little update, so at 1 o'clock, the plan is to go to our birthing center. I told you guys earlier, the plan was to go there to help stimulate contractions and labor the natural way. Well, I called her with the update of how I've been feeling. I'm pretty sure I'm having contractions, right? But it's just a start. And she said, well, come in at 1. If anything, if it gets more intense, then definitely call the answering service before then, come in before then. But plan to come in at 1 and plan to come in like the baby will come. So we're gonna take everything with us, go in at 1, see where I'm at. If they wanna go forward with the stimulation for labor, which is again working with herbs, using my breast pump that I'm gonna take. They're gonna do that there today, but any other moms out there during your contractions, do you feel like you want to cry and then you also want to throw up? And this is just the beginning, because I was like, so what is more revved up? Like, what is more intense? I know it's not as intense as it may get. I know that, right? But she was like, well, everything you're doing right now, making sure things are in order, calling me, talking to me, you're probably not going to be able to do that. So you let me know if it gets to that point and come in before then. And the thing that has helped me just a little bit already is talking to myself, like literally like affirming myself going through this, like, you got this. My body knows what it's doing. I'm meant to be doing this. I'm excited to see the baby, all this stuff, and breathing and just like keeping that peace of mind as much as possible. Those things have been helpful, instead of like acknowledging the pain to where it takes over and it's like a fearful thing and I tense up and it's like, oh my God, this is terrible. Yes, it doesn't feel comfortable at all but I'm trying to go with that positive mindset, affirming myself. So that's been helpful a little bit.
Yeah, I want to ask something.
Go ahead.
Just you know, I ain't normally in here like that.
I know. You guys say hello to my husband if you're new to my channel.
Just wanted to let y'all know our baby is the GOAT, man. So between us having to get moved, between us having to get everything situated for our apartment, when we got moved in.
Can you talk lower?
Between
He's
us
super
having,
excited.
I'm trying to tell you, between everything else, he waited until now.
Go ahead, sit
He
down.
waited until now to actually start. Yeah, let me sit down. Yo, he waited until now to actually start getting this stuff together, bro. Like, I really feel bad for her, of course, because you know I can't really feel none of the pain she's dealing with, but at the same time, it's just, homie really waited, like, and it's basically the weekend, so I ain't even gotta worry about telling my job and everything about no work stuff. I just be off tomorrow, like, and be with the little man.
You have to go to the Burning Center with me at 1. You have to like.
But even then, like, hey, that don't matter. Like, I'm talking about after I get off work, I'm off for a weekend, you know, like, so if homie's here, guess what? That means I get to stay there with him without having to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Monday come around, he here, we good. But it's just, the timing, man, is incredible. So I know he gonna eventually see this at some point, and I just want to tell you to go. Since birth, you already.
We've been so worried about not having time for, like, time did fly by, but we were so worried about not having all the things that we have right now in order before he came, and everything is in divine timing, bro. Like, I wasn't too worried about him passing his due date as much as everybody else was. I was just more so worried about them considering medical induction because protocols call for that if it comes past a certain time, and I just didn't want that.
We ain't about that life.
That's the only thing I was worried about.
We ain't about that life. But for real, like, he got his daddy's patience, let's put it that way, because homie came at the perfect, he's coming at the perfect time.
Are you excited? I could tell you're excited.
What, man? Probably can see man's little face and everything, you know, probably been smushed up in that thing and stuff, you know, all this stuff. Probably chunky as heck, you know.
I know. I just want him to be healthy. That's all I'm worried about. That's all I'm worried about, y'all. Send me all the good vibes, even though when you see this, it's going to be after. But my close circle knows what's up. I've contacted his mom, my mom, all the moms in our family, my sisters, my best friends. People that I need to reach out to, I reached out to them since this morning and said, hey, I'm starting to feel different. I think I'm having contractions, and so everybody knows what's up, and we're just gonna take it minute by minute. I'm gonna get off because another one's coming. Peace. Laying on the couch right now. I've tried to make some oatmeal with fruit, and I have eggs, but it's hard for me to like eat because I keep getting hit with contractions. Being curled up and just laying down right now is the most comfortable. Definitely starting to get a little more intense where I have to stop what I'm doing completely and breathe and slowly let out like deep noises, like calming my body. So I'm trying to get in more of a comfortable position, and it's slowing me down a little bit, but yeah, it's gotten to the point where I try to eat, and I can eat little by little, but my focus is on like getting through these contractions. So I came upstairs. Because I wanted to lay in my bed with my cover and curl up because that was really comfortable to just lay. But I want to get in the hot bath with the hot water, so I'm going to do that right now. Update really quick before I have another contraction. We went to the birthing center. I'm literally in the car waiting for Dominique to get some things from Whole Foods that was suggested to us since we're going back home. We're going back home to wait out everything and just see if I have more frequent contractions, longer and stronger contractions. So we were there for about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, breast pumping to stimulate and try to see how that affects contractions. And then do herbal tinctures that do labor stimulation. I have one now. I'm definitely getting more intense than when I first checked in with you guys this morning, but they don't last too long, even though it feels really intense right now. This is just the beginning, and I did allow them to check. I did allow the midwife to check and see how far dilated I was at all. And when we got there, I was 1 centimeter, so it's not too crazy right now, but my body is definitely in it. But basically, we're gonna head home and try to get some rest and be in our own space. And if anything gets worse or anything changes, we're gonna go right back. They're on call for us at any time, and place will be open for us at any time. So I gotta go. Update, I look a mess. Really quick, I'm checking in. It's like past 2 in the morning. I've been in labor pretty much all day, contractions all day. We're gonna go back to the center now because it's gotten worse. So update, I got here and got checked to see how far along I was, and it's about almost 9 centimeters right now, and we just got here. So I've been at home that whole time, just going through contractions. I'm gonna try to put this down just to get some footage, but how do you feel, baby?
Man, I feel incredible, yo. The fact that you make it that long and everything. I did get a couple Z's in, so.
I know. He curled up in the bed next to me as I was just going through contractions, just trying to get some rest.
Yeah, I thought the pills gonna work. Make sure I was maybe.
They didn't. If anything, I was just more sleepy than I was.
Yeah.
We tried to get some natural like Benadryl, because one of the midwives I saw earlier when I first came in told us, you know, if I can get some sleep before we come back in, get some sleep, and that didn't work for me at all. I didn't get any sleep. I need some chapstick. Let me get some chapstick. I have to say, you guys, something my midwife that I saw earlier said, and it's something I focused on the whole time I was going through contractions at home, and that helped me. She said, let your uterus do what it's supposed to do. Let it do all the work. And so instead of tensing up too much, I remembered that, and it took me out of that instant wanting to tense up and just focus on riding out that pain and breathing through it and letting it do its thing. Not to say it wasn't painful.
And she's somehow still able to talk with all this going on. So, I'll tell you something. You're strong enough, queen. Powerful.
I love you so much.
You're doing incredible. Be in the moment. Know this. You're doing incredible.
All right, y'all. It's been a while, and I'm gonna update you as soon as we get into our room. As you can see, we're in the hospital. There's so much that has happened since I talked to you guys that I'll update you on everything once we get into our room and get settled, because I have a lot to tell you.
Say good morning, little one. We just had breakfast. Good morning.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at look at me. Look at the way he got these feet, bro. He doing it so well. Hey.
What's up, my beautiful souls? Wow. All right, first I want to apologize because I know that the footage from this video is kind of all over the place. I just wish that I had a videographer for that moment for us both that could capture all the moments that we went through for us, but I did the best I could. So today is the 20th of May. I literally, like, time is like warping into itself. I don't know what time is anymore. I don't know what day it is sometimes. All right, so I have coffee. Let's catch up on everything. I have been meaning to do this video for so long. I've been really tired. I've been just getting back into my groove. Today I felt a little bit motivated to just do this video, so I said let me do it within the time frame that I feel this. While I feel it, just get it done. No excuses. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, you definitely should. I'll leave it right here. Follow me on Instagram because I've been posting about him. I've been showing pictures, so if you want to see more about him and follow me daily on my journey in my life, follow me on Instagram. Basically, things did not go as we planned at all. Our plan was to give birth in that beautiful birthing center you saw. That did not happen, but I have to say I am thankful that I got to still experience that center and that environment and at least start there and try. And we ended up in the hospital, and I haven't shared it here on YouTube, but basically I ended up in the very end having to get a C-section, got an epidural, got an IV put in me of Pitocin, and like I was on meds and all types of stuff and this is all against like what I wanted to do. This is stuff that like I technically don't believe in. Like, oh my goodness, you can be prepared, you can plan to have a plan for your birthing experience, but I realized quickly that in the moment you have to make the best decision and think about the baby's health. And I honestly did not expect to go through all that. I did not plan for all that. I did not want any of that. Let me just get back to how we ended up in the hospital. Okay, so we were at the birthing center. The first midwife that diagnosed me that I allowed to do a cervical check. I personally wanted to know the progress. I didn't have to have them do that, but I wanted to know how far along I was. And she was saying how like, oh wow, like you're 8 centimeters along. Well, that wasn't the case, okay? So fast forward into me laboring still at the birthing center. So the next midwife came in. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning on the 17th now. She did the check, and the news came in that I was not, in fact, 8 centimeters dilated. I was only about 6 centimeters dilated, and my heart sank because mentally going through labor, when you feel like you're like so far along after going through contractions and you think like you're doing really well. And I thought the labor that I was going through in that birthing center was like labor. And come to find out, it wasn't even intense labor yet. I'm gonna get to that part when I get to the hospital because it got intense. With doing everything we could at the birthing center, I still, as we did another cervical check, was still only at 6 centimeters. I didn't progress, and they already told me this in advance, but we're gonna do everything we can for you, and if we get to a certain point where there's no progress, our protocol is to transfer you to a hospital because there's nothing more we can do here at the birthing center. We don't have all the resources that a hospital does. So it got to that point. I don't remember what time it was. It might have been 12 in the afternoon on the 17th that my midwife, who I love and respect so much going through that, she was like, unfortunately, like, we're suggesting that we do transfer you to a hospital because there's nothing more we can do. We can keep doing the tinctures, but we can only do so much. And we're afraid that each contraction actually weren't as strong after a while. Like, my contractions weren't as strong. They weren't coming as close as they were in the beginning. So they were becoming further apart, not as strong. They suggested the hospital. And I literally was like, I thought it was the end of the world. Like, this is not what we wanted at all. My husband and I were honestly devastated. And so just to spare all the details, because I don't want to make this video super long, we ended up getting transferred to the hospital. And I just felt really defeated. I felt devastated. I felt like, what am I doing wrong? Like, are you sure there's no alternatives? What can we do to prevent this? And it's just like, there's only so much they can do. That's what I forgot to mention. So because we found out I still hadn't progressed, there was an option other than the tinctures. My midwife realized my water hadn't even broken yet. And that's a barrier that prevents the baby from dropping even further and coming down and possibly helping the baby come out. So this also wasn't in my plan, but she suggested we could break the water for you. And me being in the moment and wanting to give birth at that birthing center, I was like, let's do it, I'm down. Broke my water. No progress after that. We even tried to push at the birthing center. They had me walk around. They had me, just walk more, push. I pushed on the toilet. I pushed on the bed, and nothing happened. Nothing progressed. Which is why we broke my water, because we found out the water wasn't broken, and that may be what is preventing the baby to come out. So she broke my water. There was no progress, and that's when she suggested the hospital. Fast forward to me getting to the hospital, my contractions instantly got more intense to the point where I was shaking. I couldn't really talk, like I couldn't even focus. And our midwife was nice enough to go with us to the hospital because my husband and I looked at each other like, okay, we need to go to a hospital. Where do we go? What do we do? We're not prepared for this and we don't want to go to a hospital. Like, help us, basically. Like, what do we do now? Like, with this information. Our midwife went with us, and she actually stayed with my husband and I in the delivery room for, I don't know, like more than an hour, it seemed like, for a long time, until she had to go back to the birthing center. But she was with us, which made me very comfortable. She knew people at that hospital. She was very familiar with midwives there, and she specifically had a midwife work with us that she knew personally. So she made me feel comfortable with the care that I was going to get from the people she knew at the hospital. So that made me feel a little bit more comfortable, at least, with this change. So we get into the delivery room and things got so intense. And I think after also, like at that point, they suggested, of course, in the hospital, Pitocin, let's hook you up IVs, this and that. All of this is not what I wanted, but in the moment, I'm like, whatever it takes to get this labor going and to make this birth happen, let's do it. And all of these things I was against. Still in my mind, I'm against the system that do unnecessary things that people don't know they can avoid, that people can say no to, that, like, going through it, I really look back knowing that I could have said no to more things, but in the moment, I was just wanting birth to happen, and contractions got so intense for me. So Pitocin I thought would help. Pitocin, I think, in a combination of my water breaking and maybe a combination of that, plus this is how intense labor can get naturally without anything. Maybe what I was going through wasn't intense labor yet, even though it felt like it for me. Things got way worse, like to the point where I was shaking. I looked at my midwife in the delivery room. I was about to cry, and I was like, I don't think I could do this. I felt like I was gonna die. My whole entire body was shaking. I can't explain the pain, but it was very painful for me, to where I thought I just couldn't do it anymore. I was so scared. Like, I think my body and my mind went through the transition of having to transfer to the hospital, all these things happening in my eyes that were going wrong from our birth plan. I think my body and my mind went into shock, and plus being exhausted from laboring for over 24 hours already, I checked out. I couldn't do it anymore. I said I wanted epidural. It was something I was against. I was against in my mind before all this stuff. I don't want an epidural. I don't want the things they're gonna put in me. I don't want medication. I want things naturally, and I wanna say no to as many things as possible. Little intervention is possible. That went right out the window when I got to the hospital. The contractions got so bad. No matter what position I got in, I was on the bed, I was on the side of the bed, I was on a bouncy ball, you name it. Before the epidural, I was trying to get in so many positions, I couldn't even move. No matter what position I got in, the contractions I feel like happened back to back, and they stayed for so long and they hurt so bad. No matter what position I got in, I couldn't talk, I couldn't ask for help, I couldn't say what I needed, I couldn't, whatever. I didn't even know who was in the room at that point. And so I asked for the epidural right away. No questions. And no sooner had I got the epidural, I promise you, like 5 to 10 minutes after that, oh man, I was talking again, I was calm, and I did not feel a contraction. I did not feel one contraction after getting that epidural. There was still no progress. I think I made it to 7 centimeters. Before I got the C-section, I remember them saying you're at 7 centimeters. That's how much progress you've made. Who knows? Was it the epidural that slowed it down? I don't know. I can't take it back. So yeah, I remember, I can't think of the proper name, but whoever does the C-sections in the surgery room, that specialist came in to me with the news of, we're afraid that it's either the C-section or risking your baby's life, basically, is what it seemed like. With the information that was provided to us, every contraction that I had, which was still far apart and not as strong as it should have been, needed to be, after every contraction, the baby's heart rate went down. And so that made me feel like, oh my God, you know, if I say no, I don't want a C-section, this is not what we wanted, our baby could have died. And I straight up asked them, so you're saying if I don't do the C-section, if I just continue on and see what happens, our baby could possibly die? I asked them straight up that, and they were like, yep. So I look back and think, like, I know there's stories of people that go through a time of where they're stuck at a centimeter and they keep fighting through it, whether they're in the hospital medicated or they're doing it natural, they fight through it before a C-section, right, is presented, or they go through with that, and before you know it, things happen quickly after that. I always think about, what if I would have said no to the C-section and told them I want to labor as long as I can, I don't want a C-section, and risked, you know, the heart rate slowing down for my baby? Would he have came through vaginally? I don't know, but in my mind, I was scared to take that risk. It was our first baby. I didn't really know what was going to happen, and I don't want to say I didn't have the full support around me, but my husband and people around me, it's like, at the end of the day, they're looking at me for what decision I want to make for my body in that moment. And with it being my first baby, a lot of people say it takes longer and it's harder, and your body, this is the first time your body doing all of this. So I said yes to the C-section. Let me show you guys the scar. It's really well done, I feel like. A lot of people say it's a really small scar. So I just want to show you the progress of how I look. Right here is where the incision is. It's literally very small. And right under my belly, I expected like this big line, or I don't know why I expected like a line going up and down. But the incision is very small. And I feel like in that area is where I carry a lot of fat still. And I don't know if it's just like I still have healing to do, it's gonna go down. But right where it is, I just feel like I just, you know, it's hanging more right where the incision is. Again, I don't know if it's gonna go down because I'm still healing, or it's now a permanent area that I really have to work hard at getting off now. For the most part, I went back down really quickly. That's it. I just wanted to update you guys on everything that happened, and it was a lot, but it's part of our story, and it is what happened, and we have a healthy, happy baby here, and that's really all that mattered to me in that moment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more videos to follow. If you haven't checked out my last video, you should. I'm going to link it in my description. It is about me bringing my placenta home. It is very graphic, so if you're very queasy to like blood and like things like that, I maybe just not watching it. If it's something you think is disgusting and it's not something you agree with, don't watch it. I'm not here to debate or get validation for what I do. I'm just here to share my journey. And I felt the need to say that because there's been a lot of comments on that video, and I made a TikTok on it that's blown up. And there's been so many negative comments that don't really bother me because I didn't do it for validation. I just know a lot of people don't understand or don't agree with what I'm doing. And it's a part of my journey, and that's all I'm sharing with you. So if you want to check that video out, it's basically a video on how I cleaned and prepped my placenta to use in placenta smoothies. I've been doing that since coming home for postpartum, and many other reasons that I was interested to try, and not sure if they'll 100% work and everything that it says it's going to do. I'm not sure if it's doing that, but I was open to the experience because I personally wanted to take my placenta home. I plan to do a video following up on that video, addressing a lot about the placenta, questions I've gotten on it. And so yeah, stay tuned for a lot of different videos about motherhood and my experiences and my truths and all that stuff. And I hope you're enjoying this content of motherhood because this is my life now. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. I know it was a long video, but it was a very long journey. There was a lot to talk about that I needed to catch you up on. I love you guys so much, and I will speak to you next time. Bye.